So if we want to keep several data, okay, of similar type, then array is a good option. Again, we say array is a collection of variables. Okay, so it is a derived type. What is derived type? Derived type, the main type, main category of our variables are what? Main variables are integer, float, double float, like these things. Okay, so these are the main things. So variable is of two types. One is standard type, standard variable, standard standard type, and another is derived type, derived derived type. So standard or default type, we can say default or standard type, is of several categories already we know and we use that. Okay, so these are integer, float, double. Okay, and derived type is just a modification. Derived type comes from the standard type. That means integer and. So this is the reference. Already we know that. So integer and or float and. So these are the reference type. And reference type is not a new thing. It is from original integer reference. Integer and means reference of a integer. Float and means reference of a float. So in the same way, when we do this uh, array, so it is also like derived type. So this is reference category. And if you want to uh, do the array is also is what? Array is collection of that variable. That means it is a collection of integer, or it may be collection of float, like this integer array. So this is a collection of integer. How many members? N number of members. So if it is float, then it can be a collection of what? It can be collection of as an example, 10 members. So so this array and reference, they are a derived type. Okay, they are formatted from the default one. Now in this case, so what the array is, so the syntax is, at first you have to write array name and the index. Okay, so if you consider that x is a series of number, it contains 10 number, so you can write in this way: integer x, integer x has variable, uh, and it has 10 members. Okay, or it has 5 members as an example. And if you want to initialize the 5 member, so what we have to do, you have to write the second bracket, and within that second bracket you have to mention those values. Okay, as an example, 6, 7, 8, 4, -8, like this. Okay, so these are the variables, and you want, it is a collection of variable. Okay, so instead of this, if you like, not x, it is a class test 1. As an example, in your classroom there are 5 students, and we have taken the first class test, and in that first class test we have 5 students, 5 marks. It is mandatory to initialize the array? No, it is not mandatory, but it is a good practice to initialize it as 0. That means you can write in this way: we have an array, it is of 10 member, and for the time being you will update the value of this array members later. Okay, or you will take the value using cin. Then the good choice is initialize them with 0. What is the good side? The good side is there will be no garbage value. It is for safety, but it is not, again I say, it is not mandatory. Okay, so if you like, you can if for simplicity you can initialize the value, or you can take this value from the user. Okay, so just we go through this program, a simple program to write this, and how we will take this value from the user, and we will show this. And again I say, array, we as a human being, we need to move from one place to another, and for that we use vehicle. Okay, bus or Uber car or rickshaw, whatever. But in our in this array, we need for loop to traverse all the member. Since array is a collection of variables, So we need to go from one variable to another variable, and for that reason we need for loop. Using for loop, we can serially go from first member to second member, second to third, and go on in this way. So if we want to just initialize, or if we want to use that program to write about this array and to show this or to take this array. So at first initialize the array. CT1 is a 5 member, so 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, and CT2 is another array, but it has only 10 members, but initialized with 0. And if you want to show all this variable, so you have to use for loop, and within that for loop you can, and the first thing is this array index is start with 0. In our, again I say, in our day-to-day life, we start our first member, as an example, first student, or first building. We say in the block 1, this is the house number 1, or road number 1, we say. But in our programming, we initialize, it is house number 0, then house number 1, then house number 2, in this way. Okay, so integer I is equal to 0. Index, it is the first index. Index means roll number. Okay, so if you say it is your house number 1, the roll number of that house is 1. If it is road number 1, or block number A, or block number 1, so what we do in our to know about the area or about the location of a building, or in our house house positioning system, we use this type of number. But in our programming, we use the initialize, or not initialize, we start the roll number with 0. Now for the first case, I is 5 and I plus plus, and within that you have to write cout. Okay, if you want to see that value, cout, and how you will define that particular member. So CT1 is the collection. CT1 is the collection of variables. And if you want a particular member, you have to give index. Index means roll number. As an example, student number 1, student number 2, student number 3, in this way. So all are student number, but student number is nothing but a collection. And if you want to precisely, you want a particular member, you have to mention that index. Okay, so if I, in this case, the index is I, because I want to traverse, I want to go from initial to the last one. Okay, so cout, using cout, and for simplicity we place a comma so that we can differentiate between the neighborhood elements. And now just in this case, just only we want to see that the first array. Okay, so if you want to make it so array 1, just give a meaningful name so that you will understand. So it is array1.cpp, and just go on project. So again I say, here we use dev C++, because in this PC, actually code blocks create a problem. After installing, it crashes or it doesn't work. Maybe it creates a problem with the operating system, and that's why I have to use another IDE. It is dev C++. It is similar to code blocks, and also it is handy. We can use it comfortably. So by the way, compile and run, and we will see the output. So in this case, you see our members are 6, 7, 8, 4, and -8, and we see all those members serially. Okay, and through this pattern, that means here you are actually using what? You are making the showing or the visibility of all the members. Instead of taking cout, also you can use cin. Okay, so initially it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, -8, and now you want to double all those variables. Okay, you think that, or just a teacher, if you consider that you are a teacher, and at first you give the marks, class test mark, and you think that, okay, I will give a grace mark, I will give a bonus mark to all my students. Okay, and the bonus mark is 2. So what you will do? So instead of at first I show that, now again using this for loop. Okay, using this for loop, I can place again. And in this for loop, instead of see out, what I will do, I will just add of course I will see out, but before see out, what we will do, we will add the marks by 2. So CTI plus, it will be plus and equal to what, 2. That means we will add 2 marks with each class test, and after adding we will show the mark again. So if I want to increase the marks or give a grace mark of 2 for all the students, if you just grace mark, I say grace mark 2 or bonus mark 2 for all the students. Okay. So now the value will be what? It will be 8, then it will be 8, 9, 10. Okay. In this way it will go. So just add the mark and see the members of that array again. And after also doing this, we also take the average of mark. If you want to make the average, you can just add those marks. Sum plus is equal to what? You want to add all the marks of the class test and add to sum. So before adding sum, we already know that if you want to add to sum, you should initialize the sum with 0. Otherwise, garbage value will be shown. So sum will be 0, and you take the summation of all the class test mark of all the students, and after summing, you can just give the average C out. You can write in this way, the average mark, the average CT mark is average CT. Then just place this, and here you will just make sum divided by how many students? There are 5 students, so sum divided by 5. So in this way you can what you can do, at first you initialize the array. So here you initialize, then what? After initialize, then you at first you show the value of all the students, all the, then you can add, or just at first you show this value, just copy it, and here we show this here just on the C out and nothing else. At first the initial mark is shown, and at first only initial mark will be shown. Okay, so this loop is for initial marks, and here grace mark will be added, and that updated mark will be shown. And besides, we want to keep the summation of all the marks, and after that we can average those class test mark. So this is our total program. And just run this program again. So if this is the case, then just compile and run it. So here CT was not declared. So we made a mistake because my variables or our variable is CT1, not CT. So this is the mistake. So we have to write here CT1. Again, compile and run. Same mistake here. So it will be CT1. And here it's okay. But the bad thing is that actually we should give an endl, otherwise there will be no separation. So just give endl, and here if you like you can put endl. It will be better for visibility and clarification. Now, so previously it was 6, 7, 8, 4, 8, and now it is 2 marks added, 8, 9, 10, 6, 10. And if you take the average of them, it will be 8. Okay. So in this way, you can take the marks or you can update the marks in an one-dimensional array. So it is an one-dimensional array. Okay. And what we can do, we can take the marks, we can uh, show the marks, we can update the marks, we can take the average. Now we want to take the maximum or minimum of that mark. Okay. So you want to make the maximum or the minimum, so you have to create a program or a function which will take the um, which will search the maximum or minimum. And for that reason, what we can do, at first, without function, we will create a for loop where we will search for the maximum or the minimum. Okay. So now in this case, we write a for loop. So in this for loop, we can just search. So this for loop is for what? This for loop is for searching for maximum. Okay, maximum. So maximum is the variable. So before doing that, we write integer maximum. For simplicity, we are considering our maximum value is the first one for some simplicity. Okay. So let just define that our maximum is the first member, and we will compare the first member with the second member, and we'll update which one is the maximum. And in this way, we will go on up to the last element. So our maximum, consider at first case, consider that our initial value, initial member or the first member is the maximum, and then we will check. We'll check with whom? We will compare here, just we will compare. Okay, so for comparison, what we can do, we can compare if if our maximum, if our maximum, the maximum, if our maximum is less than, if less than ct1. Okay, and what is the value of I will be 1. Just think, already we consider index 0, that means the first element. We consider the first element as the maximum in the line number 22. Line number 22, the first element, the first element is considered as maximum initially. The first element is considered as maximum initially. So we already know that first member is considered as maximum. Now I will compare with the second element, because first element already occupied in the maximum. So we don't need to compare maximum with the first element, because first element itself is maximum, we are considered initially. So that's why we will compare the maximum with the second element. And what is the second element? Second element is ct1 1, because we know that in our array the first element starts with the index of 0. So here the second element start with the index of 1. That's why if maximum is less, is maximum is less than ct1i, then what we will do, we'll just write here maximum, then maximum will be updated. Because you just think, between two number, or just if you compare two number, here maximum is less and ct1i is more. So which is the maximum? Of course ct1i, because if then maximum will be updated. Maximum will be now not the previous one, rather maximum will be the new one. That means ct1i will be now max. So maximum, so in this case the max number will is updated. So here maximum number is updated. So we can write here, this is the update of maximum. So if it agrees, otherwise maximum will remain as it is. So in this way we can find out maximum, and after that, after doing that, we can easily show that, see out the maximum is, we can write in this way, the maximum, the maximum of city, the maximum city is what? It is the variable maximum. And do the endl. So in the similar fashion, in similar fashion, we can do the same thing for minimum also. At first, just okay, just write So in the same way, we can find out the minimum. So minimum logic is opposite of maximum. So if it is minimum, it will be minimum, and like integer maximum, we also initialize uh, integer minimum as ct1 and write minimum. So in the same way, so for better clarification, we can use the bracket. Bracket will make our understanding more clarified way. So here I will just place here maximum city in the same way, but the logic will be opposite. Logic will be opposite for what? For minimum. So here I will write minimum. Here you see minimum, and if minimum is greater than ct1, if minimum is greater than ct1, which is the minimum? The ct1 I will be the minimum in the next phase. Okay, because we are comparing two number, and the lesser one will be minimum. So here I will write minimum. So in this way, we can update maximum, we can update minimum. Okay, and that will be shown. So here the mark is 67848, the maximum is 8, and the minimum is 4. Okay, so it will be showed in the result section. So just run this program, execute this program, and here you see previously it was 67848, we already know. Now it is 8 9 10 6 10. Sorry, it is now updated value is 8 9 10 6 10, and within this the maximum is 10 and the minimum is 6. So that will be shown from this maximum and minimum things. Okay, but we can use a function because we already know about the function. So just write this part, that means this part. Okay, you can copy it, you can, and you can call a function. The name of the function is what? Name of the function is max, and what it will take? It will take the entire array, and what it will return? It will return what? It will return maximum. Just write in this way. So the function will check the maximum of this array, and it will return that array. And in the similar fashion, you can write minimum, and minimum will take min is another function. It will take the complete array, it will take the complete array, and it will return, it will return. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that C++ is not so smart. It will not understand, what is the dimension, of the array. Since the dimension, that means first one dimension of course, but the number of elements here is 5, so you have to mention that number. So here you have to mention that our the dimension or the total number of elements is 5. You have to give that uh, information also. And maximum is the function, it will be max is the function, it will count the max, and minimum is another function, which will it will count min. So here you will write that. So integer max is the function, and it will take an array, and also it will take the number of elements, integer n. Okay, and in the same fashion, you can write integer min. Min is the function, what it will take? It will take an array, and also it will take an integer for the number of elements, and it will do that. So, and at the last, at the end of main program, you can write the function in details. Okay, one student just ask, sir, if I want to like just like this, see out CT1, see out CT1, and nothing else. So will this see out will show all the members of the array? No, it is not the system of C++. C++ cannot show all the variables. That means all the elements of that array just only using C out. You have to go to, because CT1 is an array. Again, I say CT1 here it is an array. It is an array. An array is what? Array is a collection. Array is a collection of variables. It is a collection of variables. So if you want to see all the variables, then you have to use for loop. You have to go to each member of that array. That means each variable. So CT1, it is not a single variable. It is a collection of variables. Okay. And what we want to see out? We want to see out a individual element. We cannot use this function. Of course, if it was available, or if C++ permit this pattern, it will be very much helpful for us. But C++ does not have this type of option to show that just write cout and the array name, and it will show all the elements of array. It is not the case, or not the system, or not the rulings of C++. That's why we have to use this for loop, and using for loop we have to go to each member, and then we have to use cout or cin or update or whatever we like. Okay, so now we are writing this function what we just mentioned previously. Here, just paste it. And what was the function? The function is this two line. So this is the function prototype. Already we know that if you want to use a function at the initial, before the main, we should write what? Function prototype. It is called function prototype, or what? Or function definition, or function definition. Sorry, definition not, it is function declaration. It is called function declaration or function prototype. And later what we will do now is function definition. That means here we will define the function. Here we will define the function. So what was the function? Integer, integer, and now it is max, and it will take an array. So integer a array, and how many member? The member is n, and here we will do this function, and this function will take the maximum. It will return the maximum. So in the for loop we can just copy that part. Okay, and just write here, and just delete it. And we don't need this minimum part. Okay, minimum part will be in different place. We place that later. Now the maximum. So maximum is the local variable. So we should write here integer maximum. And maximum will be what? Maximum will be the initial value. So here this line, instead of doing this, just we place here 0, no problem. And we just place this two line, or just here we place in this way, integer maximum, and here integer minimum, and place these two line not in this part, rather we just place here. So for integer maximum, we just share integer maximum is equal to what? CT1. So this is the case. First element, we don't need to repeat it. Already we know about this. And we write this function for loop. For it will grow from I is equal to 1 up to I is equal to not 5. It is now not 5. It is up to n, because we mentioned that the array will start from initial value 0 and it will go up to n. But here we initialize our maximum with ct 0. So again, here it is not ct1 because in the function we named array by a. So instead of ct1 it should be a. And here also, here it should be a, here it also would be a. Now we are taking the maximum. Okay, till now it's okay, seems okay. And it will return. So after completing the for loop, we should return the value of what? Return the value of maximum. So we should write return, return, return maximum. So the maximum value already calculated will be returned to the main function. So in the similar fashion, like this, we will write the function for minimum also. So here we will write the function for minimum. So in the similar fashion, it will be min, it will be minimum, it will be minimum, and the same thing will be carry on here also in this place. And the logic will be opposite. So if minimum is greater than ai, then ai will be minimum. Okay, and return minimum. So in this case, in this way, we can update this function. Okay, so this function is for minimum, and where is the function for maximum? Probably we remove that unintentionally. So it should be like, we just go through that. We are calling the declaring the function. We are using we don't need ct2 for this time, and we don't need sum also. And we are taking that for loop to visualize that. We want to update that, or just keep sum, no problem. And we don't need this part, integer minimum. Okay, we need that part because we are taking that which is the minimum by calling that min. So also we should copy it and we paste it. So it will be maximum and max. We are calling that maximum and minimum. Now the part is somehow I copied but not paste. Okay, so it is minimum, it will be max, and just copy it. It will be less sign. Okay, now execute and run this program and see whether return what we have. Oh, so this is for maximum, this is not for minimum. This is for maximum part, minimum part. Again execute. Now you see the maximum is 10 and the minimum is 6. Okay, so the function will work. So what we can do is instead of writing the details of maximum and minimum, we just make a function of max and min by ourselves. And within this function, we are calculating, finding the minimum or maximum of that array, and we return the value to the main program, and we show this maximum or minimum of that. So in the similar fashion, in this similar way, we can take the maximum or minimum of several variables like student class test, or humidity, or the pressure of a month, each day of a month, or each hour of a day, and we can make the summary of that result. Okay, so this is a way. In your lab manual, if you just go in your lab manual, so what up to what we have covered, so we know that what is array and how to write that array. So array is a continuous memory allocation, so it is in serially. The first index is 0 and it will goes on. So you can initialize the array, or just you make a blank and give that members, and from that number of members it will count by itself that how many place in the RAM it should allocate. Okay, so in the first example, example 01, we just give a numbers is an array consist of 5 elements, and we want to show that variables, so that will be shown. In the second example, instead of fixing or fixed that values, we can take the values from the user, and what the user will give, we will show that variables. Again, we say to traverse or to go from one element to another element in array, what we have to do, we have to what, we have to use for loop, because for loop is the system through which we can go from first element to the last element. And again, keep in mind that for the array, the first element starts with the index 0, and it will go up to the up to what, up to the total number of elements. So if it is 5, so it will be less than 5. You can say why it is less than 5, because it starts with n is equal to 0, so it will not be n less or equal to 5, it will be less than 5, because 0 1 2 3 4 total how much, total 5. 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, total number is 5. So that's why we start from initially from index number, it starts from 0 and it goes before the boundary limit. So here the boundary is 5, so it goes up to 4, not 5. Okay, in the example 3, what we do, we are taking the number elements, and how many elements, that number of elements will be given by user. As an example, in our case, in each classroom of Arsenal University, there are 50 students. Okay, so as an example, if I want to take the first class test, maybe 10 students will be sick or they are not available in the campus, so only 40 students give exam. So though the provision is that 50 students are allowed to give exam, but during the exam time, only 40 students came. So if that is the case, so what we do in this example, we are allocating the array. We are allocating the array for 100 elements, but it doesn't mean that we need to use all those elements. Okay, it is not mandatory. We can take less than that. Though our provision or our system is we are allocated 100 members in the array, but we are not bound to use that 100. We can take less than 100. As an example, we want to just calculate 5 students and not more than that. So Cn will be 5. So n will be 5. So here in this line number 10, for I is equal to 0, I will be less than n, and n will be the number which is defined by user. And here we are taking the value, and we are already know the system of calculating maximum or minimum. Instead of maximum, here they use the word largest element. Largest element means maximum element. So already we know how to calculate this maximum. We are comparing to neighborhood. We are considering that our largest element is what, are 0 at first, and just we it is actually comparing. Okay, but instead of writing in this way, we can write what we have shown in our program. That is a good approach, and that is a more clarified way of calculating maximum or minimum. Now in the passing an array to function, we already know that how to write a function. So you have to give function name, you have to give return value, and you have to give the array name, and also you have to give the array size. You have to give the array size. Okay, so here you just observe that actually the update here you don't need to mention that number 5. You have to use another variable. Okay, So this is not the way, rather this is the way. Okay, so you have to give the name of that array, and you have to give the total number of element in that array. Now example 5 is linear search. Linear search is what? Linear search is you want to find a particular number. Okay, so here is a collection of number and you want a particular number. So what it will do, it will give you a message that we found that number in that position. Okay, so the idea is very simple. So what we already do is here, if you just write another function, that means searching. Okay, so here I write a function like integer integer desired num. We say our desired num will be what? We make a program function like search. We want to search. Okay, and it is linear search, so we'll just write linear search, lean search. We make a function, and in that function what we will give, we will give the array, and also we will give the number of dimension, and also we will give the number that we want to search. Okay, so or just write in this way, and in the function we will give it the number we want to search. So here in this way, lean search. And what is the lean search program? So you have to just write in the same way. That means I can write like here it will be instead of min, we write here lean search. Lean lean search. Lean search. And here this is to search a member like integer min. We just copy it and we go here. We like it is lean search, so the function is lean search. And what we want to search in the array, we want to search, so it is not minimum integer as an example search variable, and we don't know what is that. We are just writing, we are writing, we are giving user the option. So check your check, or at first I say write your desired number. So I should say write your chosen number or desired number. Write your chosen number. What you want to search. Write your number to be searched. You can say write your number to be searched in the array. To be searched in array. You can like in this way, and then give the number you want to search. So see in and that number, the number will be saved in S. Okay, and you will compare it for it from initial position up to n. And what we will search, if if what, if the member is equal to, if the member is equal to your search number, you say that I found, you can say that I found that, see out, you can say I found that number. You can say I found my I found I found my desired number, in that location. I found my desired number. Number what? You found your desired number. What is your desired number? Your desired number is S. In which position? You can say I found my desired number. I found my desired number. You can say in the position. In the position what? In the position. You can mention what is the position. The position is I. In the position I. You can write just I. So you can find your number in the position I. Okay. And if you failed, that means you haven't found it. Just place endl. And since you found the number, you don't need to search again. So if you found the position, lean search, actually lean search, it will return the position. So if you want your lean search to return the position integer, it will return the position. So you just say return the position. Return what? Return I. That means that position where you found. Okay, if you like. If you like. Okay. And if you don't, and after return the position, the program will finish here. Otherwise, it will go on, and after that, it will not return minimum. It will just return what? It will not return n, and it will say that I found, I didn't found. Okay, see out the desired number is not found. You can say in this way. The I didn't found, or I did not found that number. I did not found my desired number. You can say in this way, because you check all the positions, but you didn't found that. If this is the case, or you haven't found that, then at the last, I didn't found my desired number, and just give that. But you have to return a number. What you will return? You will return the value n. So n shows that you didn't found it. Okay. So by the way, we just run this program and see whether it will work. So if you execute, compile and run, and write your number to be searched in array. As an example, I want 9. Okay, so I want 9. Okay, so I found my desired number 9 in the position what? In the position 1. In the position 1. Okay, because this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, again check. Again execute this program again, run, and consider that your desired number is 78, because but 78 is not available in this array. So what will be the answer? The answer will be I did not found my desired number. So this is the answer. So in this way, I didn't found the desired number, so I should just place an endl here. I should. So this is the way you can search a particular number. So this type of system, serially from first, then second, then third, then fourth, and go on. So in this way, if you want to search or find a number, so this system is called linear search. This algorithm or this concept is called linear search, and that's mentioned in this program. So this program is a linear search program already written, and here you will find, you'll search that element. Okay, and another program is bubble sort. We'll check that later. It is a bigger program, and you have to understand it in details. We will go that bubble sort in the next class, inshallah. Already we discussed about your this multidimensional array. Multidimensional array means, a simple example is matrix, because you know that matrix, there are two dimension. One is for row and another is for column. So here we have just in this picture, we have 3 rows, and we have how much column? We have 10 columns. So 10 columns means you start from 0 up to 9. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional array, or you can say this is a matrix. And in each matrix, so the position is defined by two, x coordinate and y coordinate. So x coordinate denotes what? Coordinate denotes the column number, and the y coordinate denotes the row number. Okay, and if you want to declare a multi-dimensional array, so just this example, so test is an array, and it is of 2 dimension. The first dimension, that means the number of row is 2 and the number of column is 3. So you can write in this way. At first you have to give the number for the first row. Since each row has 3 column, so you have to give 3 value. And for the second row, there are also 3 columns, so you can give these 3 values. So all is within the second bracket. And if you consider the greater second bracket, this greater second bracket, that means the outer second bracket, it incorporates all the rows. This is the first row, comma, this is the second row. And this small second bracket, it consists all the elements or all the columns of that particular row. So these are the elements for row number 1. This is the elements for row number 0. So in this way you can write, but it is not the general case. Again, I say initialization and array, whatever, either it is single dimension or it is multi-dimension. We generally don't use this fixed number system. We generally take the numbers from user, okay, or otherwise we can generate random number. Using random number, we just initialize the value, or we will take the values or the numbers from the user. So you can initialize the variable, the two-dimensional array. You can read it. That means you can take the values, or you can input the values and print it. You can show the values. Okay. One thing just keep in mind is that array, if you want to deal with array, if you want to update an array, the concept of array is function calling by reference. That means if you want to change, the element of an array, it will be automatically updated in the main program. That means using array in a function is another way of function calling by reference. That means if you want to change the element of an array in the function, then the array will be updated simultaneously in the main function also. Just what we have done in our program is that we are updating, again here say we are updating the array by 2. You see here we are adding a grace mark of 2 to all the elements. So if you want to make a function, okay, so if you want to make a function, just give a name as update. Okay, you just make a function update. Okay, and update, and what you will do in the same fashion, you are just giving the array name. And in the update part, so you just write here, instead of adding these two, we are adding these two, just we cut this part, and we call here update. Just we call update and give the array name ct1 and the number of elements, that means 5, and nothing else. So how we'll update, just see here. So we just write a function, that is our void. So actually instead of writing integer, we are doing void, because it will just update the array, it will not return something. Okay, because since the update, that means in the array function is calling by reference. Function called by value and called by reference, we already discussed. So here function is called by reference. Okay, so function called by reference, that's why we just make, so it is update, and within that we just make the update. So what was the case? Again we copy that, or here we update this value and update by 2. Okay, and also taking, we don't need to sum here, so just remove this one. We just want to update and show that updated value. Okay, and that updated value will be visible in the main program. So here instead of doing that update in the main program, we are calling update here. So we don't need this sum part. The sum part is not the issues in this case. And now run this program again. And what is the error again? I say, so our update is function is like this. So this is our function prototype. So we have to follow this pattern. Here it will be like this, and we just check. We just void update integer a. So our array is not ct1 in the function. In the function, the name of the array is a, but in the main function, the name of array is ct1. But ct1 and a, they are not different. They are same. Why they are same? Because again we say, please keep in mind that array is called by reference. You just give a different name. In the function, you give the name a, but in the main program, you give the name ct1. They are same. They are same because array, when it is used in the function, they are calling by reference. That's why. So in this case, integer a, and we are updated by 2. So instead of adding res, we say updated by adding 2. And if you like, you can update using more number, no problem. So if you like update by some value, update by s, so you can just ask user cout. In the cout, you can say uh, enter the amount to be updated, enter the amount you want to add, and then you will add that, at that part. Okay, so you just give c in, and the updated value will be saved in s. So before that, s is a local variable, so here integer s. Okay, and you just give, instead of 2, you can give 4, 5, 6, 7, no problem, and that will be shown here. Okay, just now run this and see whether it will work. Write your number to be searched in the array. So you have probably you called the search part again previously. Just check where you have updated desired number lin search. So at first, updated function will be called. So what is the other update function? In the update function, cout update integer a, integer n. Oh, we shouldn't. Now it's okay. And compile and run. It is not ct1. It should be the same mistake we are doing. Here it will be a. And then compile and run again. I hope it will work. Enter the amount you want to add. As an example, I want to add 5 to all the elements. Instead of now 6, 7, 8, 4, 8, it will be what? It will be 11, it will be 12, it will be 13, it will be 9, then 13, like this. And after adding this value, we are just, yes, the updating is okay. Now this is our the array value is updated. Now it is 11, 12, 13, 9, 13, and we are searching for whether 13 is available or not. Just write 13 here. I want to search that, and I found my desired number 13 in the position where? In the position 2, because this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So we have, in this program, what we have done, we have used several functions. One function, just if you want to go through, one function is for maximum, another function is for minimum, another function is for updating the array. Instead of adding something, you can also give a new value, no problem. You just modify that program in that way. And at last, we use the linear search algorithm to find a certain member or our desired number, whether this number is available in the array or not. So this is a simple program, but it covers many aspects of writing an array or using an array, one-dimensional array, in a function.